Okay, Module 12 is all about natural disruptions to ecosystems. So natural disruptions are things that happen either periodically, episodically, or just random events like a volcanic eruption, something like that. But you don't really need to focus on those different disruptions necessarily. You should understand those terms for sure. Periodic happens regularly, episodic happens kind of regularly, but it's more like locusts coming out of the ground. It's something that happens, it's regular, but it's like a long regular time frame. It's not like every night or every month, something like that. So periodic versus episodic. Random is just something that randomly happens. All right, understanding the difference here between ecosystem resistance and resilience is really important. So make sure that you understand those two differences in this section. Then understanding how climate and sea levels have changed and how we know that these things have occurred. So there's different pieces of evidence that we've used to help us determine that these things have happened. And so make sure that you understand some of that evidence. And they're gonna talk about it through the rest of the section here, the rest of this module. Okay, so changing species compositions, air bubbles and ancient ice cores that they look at. This is a really nice picture to look at here. How we know that the sea levels have changed, okay? Make sure that you understand that. All right, and then we also know that intermediate levels of change have actually favored a higher level of species diversity. It's kind of like the Goldilocks hypothesis. So a really drastic level of change can push organisms outside of their range of tolerance too abruptly. And that can be not a good thing. So it's kind of like, this is too hot with Goldilocks. Or just minor changes don't normally produce a lot of species diversity. And so just like it's good for the ecosystem to change sort of regularly, and it's good for it to have an intermediate level of change. So just a small change is kind of like the too cold scenario with Goldilocks, but then that intermediate or middle level of change is actually what drives that high level of biodiversity. So we want it to be just right in order to get those higher levels. So we'll talk about that in here as well. And then that's pretty much it with module 12. So this is sort of a short module. So make sure you're going through those questions again. I'll take a few seconds just to kind of keep plugging the questions at the end of each module, and I'll see you next time for module 13.